Praxis here for another knife review. This is going to be my fourth review in my series of knife reviews and all kind of other things I hope to be doing. As you can see, I have a Spyderco theme going. This is going to be my fourth Spyderco. I'm comparing against my other three videos I did previously, and of course my other theme is comparison to my favorite knife, which is the Paramilitary 2. I'm sure you guys are familiar. This is the Paramilitary 2, this is the Sage 1, and this is the newest Spyderco Delica line, the FFG model. And the Spyderco I'm reviewing today is kind of a rare knife. It's the Manix 1, which is discontinued by Spyderco. It's no longer made. And this review is going to be really comparable to my Paramilitary 2. The Sage and the Delica were kind of its own thing. Very good knives, but they're not really comparable to the capabilities of the Para 2. So to show you what it is, this is called the Spyderco Manix 1. It's a very big knife. It's one of the biggest knives I own. I guess let's go ahead and start with the handles. It's got very strong GT handles. I think that's called olive drab, the color. On the inside, it's got dual steel liners, so it's really strong and really tough. The type of lock is a lockback, similar to the Delica, but extremely strong. So listen to that sound when it goes and opens. I mean, that's like serious lockup. It's actually got it's not a click, it's more of a crack. So it is not going anywhere. The jimping's really good, just like all Spyderco knives. It's top jimping, so when you're gripping it, it's not going to go anywhere. Actually, that's really grippy. That might even be more grippy than a Para 2. It doesn't have any bottom jimping, but it's okay because the ergonomics is very good and handles very good. Like the Para 2 though, it has your general purpose handling of cutting like this, and then for more fine detail you can really choke up on it and cut more detailed work. The pocket clip, again, you all know I'm not a fan of this type of pocket clip, but it works. It's just a black standard pocket clip. It's bi-directional in 4 ways, tip up, tip down, both sides carry. I prefer the pocket clip of the Sage 1. The blade is S30V. It's 3 3/4 inches, so it's quite long. It's under 4 inches, so it's a nice long blade, very strong, very good steel. It is made in the USA, as you can see, Golden, Colorado, USA Earth. And then you have the Spyderco CPM S30V. I guess a couple more things about it as far as how it compares to the Para 2. This, compared to what I was talking before, is definitely a hard-to-use work knife. You could pretty much do anything in this knife. I mean, it's about as close as you're going to get to a fixed blade. As far as being, fixed blade, the reason why they're so strong is that basically the whole knife is a slab of steel. This obviously isn't, but with this lockback and thickness of blade, it is almost that. Speaking of thickness of blade, let's measure that. So it's about 0.155 millimeters. 0.156, so very thick blade, and it stays thick all the way through. It's not like the Delica where it goes thick and then goes real thin. It's quite a hefty knife too. Let's go ahead and weigh it. So it looks like 6.28 ounces. or 6.1 ounces. So it's a very heavy knife, but even though it's a very big, heavy knife, I mean, you can see how it stacks up against these. It's actually very easy to carry in your pocket. I wouldn't recommend it completely for EDC unless you have large hands or don't mind it. The only part that you can feel in the pocket is kind of the thickness of it. When it's thick right there, you can kind of feel that heft in your pocket. But if that was the only knife I've had, I would carry that thing every day. Carries very light and very small for, it's kind of a contradiction, but for a very large, very heavy knife. But real easy to carry. So let's get rid of these because they're not really comparable, but these two are. So they're definitely work knives, very practical, very functional. The question becomes still, why do I prefer the Para 2 to this Manix? And it is definitely the handle is way more ergonomic. If you don't have this knife, the Para 2, of course, I'm kind of biased, but I would just say stop watching the video right now and go buy one. It's the most unbelievable knife I've ever owned. Every part of it, except the pocket clip. But it's a hard use knife. Both of these are. So the ergonomics are better. I think this blade is a little bit too wide. My preferable blade or my favorite blades are going to be thinner blades right here and long. And the reason why that is because they slice good. You have more blade real estate. And to me, it's just a lot more functional. This is nice. It's full flat grind, as you can see, but it's real thick. So you have to not only cut, but you have to go through all this. As you can see here, it's full flat grind, but it's thinner. Go back before, a real slicer is going to be this thing. And the reason why is really, really thin blade. I mean, look at the difference between these two. That is like night and day. So this thing is going to slice, but it's not going to have the strength of something like this. So that's the reason why. I'm not saying anything wrong with this knife. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's not an everyday carry for most people. It's not a gentleman's knife. It's not a knife to go work in the office in, but it has its use. It's a hard working knife. It's very practical. What do I use this knife for personally? When I cut the grass or I'm doing some work outside and I need a hard use knife, I'll sometimes use this one. If anybody is interested, I'm actually in the market to sell this particular knife. Not because something's wrong with it, it's just because I want a different knife. I'm in the market right now for a zero tolerance 0350. So if anyone's interested in trading or like to buy that knife, I'm selling it for $100 even. So that's another video knife review. I'm going to be switching gears a little bit on my next knife review. I believe this is my last Spyderco that I have. Next knife I'm going to be doing is probably a Benchmade. So stay tuned to my next video. I hope you liked this one. I hope it was informative, and take care.